to our 5th Pandemic Pantry.
Yes, we are so excited to be back with you again today. And, well, I'm going to do a song, but not until I get our little video going. Yes, there we are. It's working, yay.
And we have muted, so that's good.
Yes, we're muted, and
all 3 of us are going to have a lovely time.
How are we going to, well, I guess that's okay. We can still read the comments. Okay, so let me get my Yuki so that we can sing for you.
We have a busy morning this morning. Yay.
Welcome to Pandemic Pantry. We know you might feel antsy, but soon you'll be cooking so fancy. Stay and cook along with us today. Woo! Let's introduce ourselves.
Oh yes, well I'm Kate Wheaton. I'm the Director of Hospitality at First United Methodist Church in Montgomery. And my co-host is Adrian Borden, and she is Director of the 50 Plus Ministries. And so today we have got a full house of things that we're going to do. But before that, we just wanted to say what a great week we've had. We were helping to coordinate delivering baked goods to the hospitals, and what a fantastic turnout that turned out to be.
Yes, a good turnout for the turnout.
It was a good turnout, and we will do it again. So we are just really waiting to see what our governor has to say tomorrow and to see what our direction is. And then I will pick a date and be sure to update you, and we will do another service project.
Yes, we don't know when it'll be, but just keep your ear to the ground with the church, and you should be in tune. Now, in the vein of waiting, because I feel like our whole lives are all about waiting right now. We're waiting to see what Governor Ivey says, waiting to see what Trump says, waiting to see what our governor says. Did I ever say that? Yeah, mayor says.
Did, but we are waiting.
We are waiting and waiting. And so today our devotional is actually from James chapter 5 verses 1 through 20. Be patient then, brothers and sisters, until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for the autumn and spring rains.
And we thought that's particularly pertinent today, not only in our everyday lives with our pandemic, but just as we relate that back to our fun little hour together in our kitchen. We're going to be doing a lot of waiting patiently today for our cake to cook, and for our chicken to marinate, and our ice cream to come together.
Yeah, so should we tell them what all we're doing today?
Yes, let's tell you what we're doing. Let's remind you, because that will help remind me.
Yes.
So we're starting with the tabbouleh. So we are just going to get that rolling, and in fact, I'm just going to pop that button. So in a second we're going to do tabbouleh, then we're going to move on to the ice cream, just to give you a kind of overview. Then we're going to bake our cake, then we're going to zip back around and do our chicken, and then we're going to kind of bring a coleslaw. Oh yes, a coleslaw too, and then we're going to bring that all together, serve our ice cream, and make a fun drink at the end. Yes. So, ready? All right, here we go. All right. So we are making tabbouleh, and we're going to do it the traditional way. Adrian is going to need, now we have had to multi-purpose things.
One cup.
Yes.
Where are you, cup?
Cup. Well, this is probably 2 cups. Just do that.
Perfect.
So we are going to use couscous.
He's right here.
If any of you are familiar with that. So a whole box of couscous is 2 cups of water, and then we are going to add olive oil and salt to that to give it some flavor. And the lemon juice too. We've got the juice of a lemon and the zest of a lemon in here that we did earlier. And the reason that you add it when it's warm is because it will absorb its flavor into the grain quicker. If you forget, you do it at the end, that's fine, but you'll get a richer flavor if you do it at the beginning. And then if you don't have couscous, you can make tabbouleh, with other grains too. So we had also prepared some quinoa. I don't know if you're like me, when I'm at the store, often I get, persuaded into buying a box of some sort of random grain in the hope that I'm going to enhance my diet and be more healthy, and that it sits at the back of the cupboard and I don't use it.
And how much salt and how much olive oil?
Just a squeeze.
It's on here. I'm sorry.
Just a pinch of salt and a squeeze of olive oil and all of that lemon.
Okay, great.
And then if you wanted to do something, this is more vitamin B rich, it's got more protein, it's got nearly twice as much fiber, and this is what the quinoa looks like. Can you see that? It's just like a little button grain that you could use, and we're going to do some and some to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Now, of course, neither of those are gluten-free. You would have to go back to your rice option if you were trying to do a gluten-free menu. But really, that's it. That's your cooking done.
Oh, and the salt.
Yes.
This salt is very popular with our viewers.
Molten sea salt. Yes, get some.
Good stuff.
But the bulgur wheat, I had to cook this morning and it took less than 5 minutes. Not bulgur wheat, excuse me. What is this?
Oh, quinoa.
Quinoa. Hello. You can use bulgur wheat though. That's really another delicious one. But this one, that's it. And then
How
you
long
just
does
leave
this
it.
take to rise or whatever? I mean,
Nothing. You're just going to leave that now until we're going to use it.
Got
So
it.
Put this behind you.
okay.
Quick and easy. And we want those cold, so we're just going to leave those to one side. Now we're going to start ice cream.
Okay.
And we're serving our ice cream in waffle cones. And so I've given Adrian a little job over here. And let's show you what we were aiming for. We just have cheap and cheerful waffle cones. And we've crusted them with white chocolate, because that will be pretty with our avocado ice cream. And then I had some sprinkles. You could use nuts, you could use nothing. So Adrian's just going to make a couple more to add to our little collection. And I'm going to put together our avocado ice cream. Has anybody had avocado? Have you had avocado ice cream?
I have, but only because of this.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've had one. There's a popsicle company that makes a very good avocado lime ice cream. So again, this one is great for different diets. Would you like to address all those different issues? So we're going to use a coconut milk today. So this is a dairy-free ice cream, inspired by the fact that if, like me, you've got random things in your closet, cupboard, pantry. I've got 2 different brands, that doesn't matter. Coconut milk, not the coconut cream, which is thicker and a lot sweeter. So you could use it, but you would probably want to taste as you go, because it's very much sweeter. You could use a light coconut milk. Okay, so that's our coconut milk.
So delicious.
Right, and then let's just talk about the avocados. So we've got 2 house avocados that we're going to use today. And when we practiced it, we used, I have milk.
Milk? You need milk?
No, I've got it up now. We have a slim cardo. I was not familiar with a slim cardo, but it's got half the calories. Did you know that? Half the calories.
It's amazing. I would love to have a half-fat avocado.
Yum. And if you're doing like those pretty pictures that you see in the magazine where you're fanning the avocado over the top of your salad or something, these ones hold their shape. They're a little more reliable in that department. So let's move that out of the way. But this is a blender. Is what you really need to make this, and everything is just going to go in the blender. So if you haven't used avocados, ooh, and could you just look in the freezer? There'll be a frozen banana. You'll recognize it by its ugliness. So avocados, doesn't really matter if you take the peel off, you don't need the outside. You put it on the board, run your knife around the edge.
In this freezer?
Yes, in the bottom there should be some random loose bananas. And then you've got your pip. This was a funny bit in each of our videos. This could be it. There it is. Got it. That is fun. Okay, so I put it down on the board so you don't slice your hand, and just stick your knife in and twist.
And I have
then
never
it
been
comes out.
successful in doing so. Now, with Kate on my side, I think I can do it.
Team avocado. Okay, so we're going to do 2 of those. When we made it before, we just used one of the slim ones because they are quite big. There's not really a, we found a recipe to start us off, and we've played with it. So you're just going to scoop out all of that flesh from the avocado into here. Good. And Adrian, do you want to show what you're doing? Look,
Yes. Oh, I'm
busy.
I am making pretty edges on these cones. So I've got, what are these called? Sprinkles. Sprinkles on here, and then I've got my favorite nut and my favorite ice cream is pistachio, or as my sister would call it, smashio.
Smash.
So I have 1 pistachio cone and 2 sprinkle cones, and it looks like I will have a 3rd sprinkle cone. So I'm just
yummy, and we're using that white chocolate melts that you can buy. You know, we used white chocolate earlier in the week. That works fine. Dark chocolate, no chocolate. But just a fun way to jazz up something so basic.
Yes.
Make it a treat.
And who doesn't want white chocolate, you know?
Yes. And then look, as we're scraping those avocados, you can see the green is the closest to the skin, where all those nutrients are. So you really want to give that a good scrape. Make sure that you get all of the green in there. That's going to give our ice cream such a pretty color. And then we're simply going to add coconut milk.
Oh, that looks so good already.
Check just real quick. Did we say one can of coconut milk? Okay. Got ahead of myself there. So 1 can of coconut milk, 2 avocados. We have got maple syrup. The recipe says a cup of maple syrup. Now that's quite a lot. And the first time we did Aunt Jemima's, because isn't that what everybody has in their cupboard? But this is real maple syrup this time, so not quite as sweet. And we've decided to add a little natural sweetness by adding some frozen banana in there. So, yeah, playing with the recipe's fun.
It is.
You know, you like anything, you just learn a few basic rules and then you can break them. So, banana always looks terribly unattractive, a frozen banana, but nobody sees you do it. Nobody will question it once it's in there. So, I'm just going to put a few pieces of frozen banana in there.
Do you want these in this or in that white?
Why don't you just slide those in the fridge?
Okay.
And that'll be perfect. In fact,
all of these are okay, aren't they?
yes, those are fine. Those are the new ones.
Okay.
Speaking of banana, better way to freeze frozen banana, which I only recently learned, is that you peel and slice your banana, lay it on a baking tray, and then just freeze it in chunks. And that takes away all of this weird peeling frozen banana.
And I actually peel mine, you know, over the hill bananas. I peel them and then I wrap them in saran wrap and put them all in the same quart baggie together so that I know banana bread time, here are my bananas.
Yes, and exactly. We made banana bread this weekend. Winston enjoyed it.
Oh no, puppy.
Unfortunately, our puppy had one and we had the other. So, you know, all good. Okay, so just to go back again. So we've got 2 avocados. We've got our maple syrup. We've got our banana. We've got our coconut milk. We are choosing to do lime zest. We've got the juice of lime of 4 limes and then juice from 4 limes.
Yum.
Now, if you want that flavoring, we looked up that you can add to that. You can add mint, fresh mint, probably like 10 mint leaves, and then at the end you could stir chocolate chips into it. Or you can add at the end you can add pistachios. So, with no further ado, let us just.
Yes, let us just.
Golly.
And while she's doing that, I was just going to say we did deliver more masks this week with the baked goods. So we made several stacks of.
Ready?
Yes.
And there we go. Oh,
Yes. Sorry, we made several staffs very happy. Healthcare system. So we're branching out, and if anyone else knows of a need, please let us know. And if anyone is willing to make masks, more are needed. We found out that the anesthesia people at Baptist only had 1 mask each.
And now they have 2 each. So, you know, that's easily not even a day's worth of masks.
That's probably the case for a lot of places.
Okay, so hilarity. Look, we have pureed, and this is what we've got. Now, I am the owner of a funky, fun ice cream maker.
Yes.
The Cuisinart, it just has a frozen canister that sits in the freezer. In fact, there it is sitting on the back of the counter. I don't know if you can see that far back. Super easy, no ice packing, no mess. And I normally turn in there. But you can line a loaf pan, and you can easily just for your ice cream. Now this would be when you add your chopped pistachios, chopped almonds, chopped mint, and chocolate chips, all of that.
Ooh, look at that.
Look at
That's
that.
so good.
And that's going to need to refrigerate for 6 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Are we alone or is somebody watching?
Oh, well, Betty says we're so entertaining. Thank you, Betty.
A lot of a minute. Yeah.
Judy's here. Stacy Manning's here. Hey, Mom. I'm excited too. Betty. Skip, Dog Road. Fun, fun, fun. Is it Skip or Terry? We don't know. But maybe it's both. And we're having fun too. And I'm glad y'all are watching. Mary Brown is here. Nikki Armstrong is here.
Very good.
Yay.
Okay, we're just covering up this.
Yes, so should I bring forward my...
Yeah, so that is as simple as the ice cream was. So next on our list was the zucchini bread.
Yes.
So we are just chugging along. We're going to use our big mixer today to do that.
Yes.
The recipe that we shared with you, you can bake it in a big 9x9. We're choosing to do 2 loaf pans. One to keep, one to share maybe. Or one to eat now, one to eat later.
It's up to you.
Or one for you and one for the dog.
No judgment here.
That
right?
works too. And I'm spraying mine down with just a pan spray.
And I'm laying down this towel to grate the zucchini onto so that it can catch my zucchini shavings.
Yes, it'll catch the shavings and then we're going to squeeze them in order to get the juice out. I think we did that on another adventure that we had with the waffles when we were squeezing the sweet potatoes to get the juices out.
Yes. So can I cut my ends off really quick first?
Yes.
Is this okay?
Yes, you need to cut one in.
Really careful. Good.
Yay.
Yay. It's done. Okay.
All right. So let's just run through our ingredients here. We've got 2 cups of sugar, which is a lot of sugar. I know my banana bread just has 3 ounces of sugar per loaf, so this is a lot, but what it's going to do is give you a lovely crispy crust on the outside of your zucchini bread.
Ruth Russell, hi. Skip and Terry are both watching. Yay! Brenda Smith is watching. Sylvia Olson, I enjoy watching too. Haven't missed any of the shows.
Oh, yeah. Somebody text Nancy Belzer. She needs reminding.
That's right. We're going to make a lot of Marmite. We're going to use a lot of Marmite today. And Susan Scott, hey, thank you. You're so sweet.
Okay, and then here is our oil. So I think it's 1.5 cups oil is going in with our sugar. And we have got 4 eggs. So I hope you all will be able to find these ingredients in the store. I know Natasha was shopping with my daughter-in-law. She said zucchini were a little hard to come by the other day. But sugar seems to be back on the shelf a little bit more. 4 eggs. Okay, there they go. And 1 piece of equipment. Okay, let's just use...
Oh, do you want my dries put together?
Yes. Can I scoot around you?
Yes. Oh, you told me, Kate told me when we practiced that I was supposed to put the dried ingredients together first and then do the zucchini. So it's my fault.
Then I said, we can wing it if you don't. And we'll be good. So, I'm just
live filming anything really keeps you on your toes, you guys.
It does. Okay, so really I don't really especially need to do that, but I just wanted to. So I'm going to mix that together and then I'm going to put all of that into my mixer.
And I've got flour here, and I'm going to put in the 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I believe it's 3, is it 2 cups of flour? 2 cups of flour.
I think so. The recipe is on there, so I'm going to make sure we've got the method.
And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder. And then I've got...
And you've got baking powder too, I think.
I do. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Okay, so while Adrian, and then she is going to just fork all of that together in order to give it, just get it amalgamated. And I'm going to put this mixer on, which means, no talking for a minute. Show you, well, I don't know if I can show you. It's bright yellow at the moment from all the yolks of the eggs, and you want to whisk it until you lose some of that yellow color, because that will tell you that you've got lots of air bubbles in there. Good job, yeah.
Brenda Smith says avocado ice cream sounds interesting. It is.
Oh, it's delicious, and you don't actually taste the avocado. It just gives it that rich creaminess, and some good fat.
With less calories. I'm gonna have a crazy
And we're back.
bicep after
Yes.
this.
Yes. I set Adrian up each week with a manual task.
But after,
Interesting thing.
if you saw the zesting debacle, you know that it looked like I couldn't zest to save my life. But then when Kate went to use it, she said, "Oh, yes, you're right. This isn't
No, I
zesting
had to
very
eat
well."
my words. I was like, oh, maybe it's not just Adrian.
And then I felt better.
Yeah. So now all of those ingredients, we're adding our dry to our wet. Nothing for any seasoned bakers. And I know we have some amazing bakers out there.
Hey, Julie.
I've seen. Oh, I can smell that cinnamon. That smells so good.
It does smell good.
Every last bit. There it goes. Crash. All right, so I'm going to amalgamate those two. Not really serious whisking, just mixing together. This feels insufficient. Yeah. So, for those of you who haven't made a cake before that's got some sort of, like a banana bread or the zucchini bread, it's going to be a much drier mixture than you're perhaps used to seeing. It doesn't look terribly attractive because you're going to get all of your moisture for your cake from your vegetable. Adrian is going to go over to the sink and just kind of squeeze it. A lot of the moisture will just go into that cloth, so you don't expect to see a lot come out, but you'll probably get 2 or 3 tablespoons of liquid that will come out of that. And if you've got trouble with your hands, and that's difficult for you, if you can zest the zucchini earlier on in the day and then just put it in a colander or a sieve and just leave it, it will naturally let go of some of that juice. Okay, so I'm going to give this one more mix. Just scrape down again. I'll try and show you, but yeah, I mean it's super, super thick. But it looks good. Oh. Okay, one more. Yeah. If we were super fancy, we'd have the aerial camera.
That's right. But that's at the end.
That's it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna move
Got my
that.
zucchini here.
Didn't really need to do that. Let's put that back on.
Oh no.
Okay, zucchini is ready to go.
Yes.
My pretty little save the bumblebees tea towel. So in goes all of my zucchini. There it goes. Lovely.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to fold that through again. You don't have to have this big mixer to do this. We did it with just a little handheld mixer, and it worked just fine. So there we go. So there it is. That's it. Quick as that.
Yes.
You can see it. I can feel all of that sugar in there.
Ooh.
Makes me anxious. All that sugar.
But didn't you like the what it did to the crust?
I did.
You
My
know more
taste
about
buds
this than I do.
love it. I did. Okay, so my best skills at division. We are gonna just. Can you see that? Look, you've got your little bits of bright green. Don't know if any of you have made zucchini cake. That's particularly good.
It is so good. My sister likes to make zucchini pancakes for my nephews.
Yes, those are good.
It's a good way to be sneaky with your veggies. Carrots too.
Yeah, yes. Okay, let's be fair. Let me go back to this one. We seem to be on quite a lime zest trail, I have to say, but I even think lime zest would be good in here too.
Did you talk about the 2 pans and one
I
of them
did.
cooked? Okay, I missed
Yes, and they're still going to take about the same amount of time to cook.
that.
These cooked for 45 minutes last time.
Nikki
So-
says when you add dry ingredients when making bread, you don't have to gradually add them.
Mhm.
am going to, since that's going in the oven, I'm going to grab my chicken from the fridge.
Yes. And you could have added nuts, which would have been a nice addition.
Yes.
Only our nuts are still here because we didn't put them in.
That's right. That's always an option to add nuts. Kate's not a huge nut fan.
You know what I could do though? Just real quick. I
Put
could
them
cut
on
them
top.
and then sprinkle them on top.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sounds like scum. Question.
Yes.
Nikki has a question. Okay, we're ready.
Okay,
We're ready
ready?
for your question. Okay, in the meantime, I'm gonna start
chop
cubing
it.
this chicken and seasoning it.
Yeah.
My little
You're
chicken
gonna have to
platter.
slow your train down a teeny bit.
Okay, no worries.
And I'm just going to chop these real fast because I don't really want to open that oven once I've got my...
No, and remember, you told me why. Oven temp. Oh.
Oh,
the
yes,
temperature is
350
350.
for about 45 minutes. Okay, so we're just going to add, sneaky little add.
Oh, okay. I think Nikki's saying when you add them, do you not have to gradually add them?
Oh, the ingredient? No.
Dry ingredients.
Not really.
Not really. I'm not the one to answer this question, but I will parrot Kate.
It seems to work just fine, plopping it all in. If I was doing it in a bowl with my handheld mixture, I would probably add it gradually just so that I didn't have a cloud. But it won't change my outcome of my baking. It will still be
And she said, okay.
for this recipe. Okay, so.
But we like questions. That's good.
That is good. Okay, let me get a little bit tidy.
All right.
A little bit tidy. Clean as you go.
Where can we find the recipes? Susan, we usually post the ingredients beforehand, and then we put the methods up as quickly as we can. Adrian, I'm like the promotion side of things, so usually if it's slow coming up, it's my fault. Well, yeah, Kate has to write the method, send it to me, and then I post it. We also have a YouTube channel, you guys, so if you search on YouTube for 50 Plus Ministries, you'll find our YouTube channel where all of our videos we've made since the pandemic began are on there.
Okay, so let's just walk you through. Adrian now has got, she's got 3 chicken breasts. And we have marinated some, so we can do a switcheroo to show you a before and after.
Yes.
So I'm really going to ask her just to cut them. Well, I guess I can, what can you see?
Here, you want me to hold it like this?
Yeah, that's good. So you just want fairly decent sized chunks. They don't all have to be the right shape, you know, they can be sort of mismatched.
Okay.
Sometimes it's easy just to go straight down the middle and then just chunk.
Okay.
But, you know, decent sized pieces of chicken. Okay, a good wash. Another good wash. We need a bigger thing. Sorry, I have to see all the washing up.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
That wash it was a...
But you know what?
Magic
Y'all are
kitchen.
getting to see the realities of cooking, and that's good.
But I can tell you that at the end of the day, it's 2 loads in the dishwasher and we are done.
Yes.
So, another trick just to know if you don't already know, we're going to use, we've threaded previously on these large skewers, and Adrian today is just going to do some little skewers, but we've got them just soaking in water and they've probably been in here for a couple of hours. I mean, an hour is good, especially if you're then going to grill, because the reason you do that is it stops the stick catching fire on the grill.
Oh, that's always good.
And so, you know, that's option A, is to put it on your grill, barbecue grill. Option,
The barbie. Put it on the barbie.
On the barbie, mate. Option 2 would be you can just lay them up on your tray and you can slide them in the oven and bake them. And I guess option 3, when you get your marinated chicken out, is if you don't want to do either of that, you can just turn it into a tray bake and just stick it on there, cook some rice and serve it over the top, you know. So we've got fresh chicken too, so once we've put it in our marinade, you would leave it overnight or, you know, at least a couple of hours so that it gets some flavor in it. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, or you can put it in the freezer. That's where I was going with that one.
Yes.
If you've used fresh chicken. Okay, so we were doing store-covered ingredients to make our marinade. You are the best chopper. Look at that. Fantastic. So we were starting off super basic. So I'd only got a couple of cloves of garlic, And they weren't terribly good cloves, I have to say. They had started to sprout just a teeny bit in the middle, but if you snip that clove open, you can just pull that little green shoot out. And for the sake of a marinade, it was still just fine. So we're putting in a little clove of garlic. Lemongrass never seems to be on the shelf, but I love lemongrass. It gives it a pop of happy summeriness, so I buy it in the tube. So we're just going to squeeze in, you know, a couple of inches of lemongrass.
Yes.
How I would describe that.
And I was just going to interrupt really quickly because,
Yes.
Hi Ann, Cersei. Susan, you asked where we can find the recipes. Kate and I are planning to start a Facebook page for Pandemic Pantry today, expressly to share those recipes because it's kind of hard to share them on the 50 plus Facebook feed.
Exactly.
So we're going to start our own Facebook page after this, and
then we can answer questions more easily, and you can make post pictures, and we can just do a more interactive. Okay, so while we were chatting, I have ginger.
Okay, great.
Just fresh root ginger. And actually, I'm just going to chop. You could grate. You can also buy. Grating's great. So that doesn't count. I think we've used that one before. I said we need some jokes. Got to have some jokes. But you could also cheat and buy ginger in one of these tubes. Also, they keep it that way so well. And you can also buy red chili in these tubes, assuming they have it, and they didn't. And probably that's in the way. So. Anyway, there's some ginger, and I'm just going to slice and chop. So thinly sliced. I was remembering my father loves ginger, and the smell of it kind of reminds me of my dad. Isn't that funny?
It smells so good.
But when I was a newly qualified student, kind of showing off my new skill set, I would hand cut and crystallize ginger for him every Christmas.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I actually haven't done that for a while. So maybe pandemic weekends will allow for this.
That's right. You already did those mandarin.
Yes, I did. I'm finding that sometimes when I have a down moment, it's really fun to remember a new skill or to work on some new stuff. It's been pretty good. Okay, so there's ginger.
Ginger's going in.
Love ginger. Ginger's going in. Now, the other component I would like in there is some heat. So my cupboard, I had chili garlic sauce, and I feel comfortable putting that in because I had such a small amount of garlic that I could use that for my chili. If you've got chili paste, chili flakes, all good. If you've just got a powder, like this is Harissa Spice Blend, I wouldn't just tip that in. If that was me, I would heat a little oil in a frying pan. And then put a teaspoon in and just let it roast in there for a minute and just bring those flavors out, and then you don't get that kind of raw taste.
Yes.
Even though you're going to cook it again later, it's not the same. You still want to kind of bring those heat of those spices out.
Yes.
So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this one. So we're going to do a couple of those.
Great.
And then do you remember I had cautioned you all to keep your cilantro stalks? And while my cilantro doesn't look fabulous, my little stalks from last week, look at that, hiding at the bottom, and they're still fantastic. So that's just going to do a pop of brightness into my marinade.
Yes.
And you could put some dried, but if you've got some parsley, anything green is just going to be nice to pop in there. I'm not going to pop it all in. There it goes.
Pop it in.
Pop it in. Okay, yes, you can do it. Squeeze, what do you think? Like a third, a bit more. Give it a whirl, that's it.
Okay.
And then we just do a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And we don't really need pepper because we have the heat from our spices.
Yes. How much salt? A pinch?
A pinch. That's a little over.
Yeah.
That's, oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. Okay, so there it is.
Okay.
And that's our little marinade, which is all at the bottom. And now, you just flip your bag backwards, and it doesn't go over the top here. Adrian can just put in our chicken. And then the bag doesn't get all sticky and yucky. Ta-da!
Yay!
Flip it back out and start to give it a bit of a squeeze.
Yes.
And then a bit of a zipper. So that is it. Look, we are going to just massage all of that through and all of that yumminess.
That looks
You
so
want it to
good.
massage.
Yes, I'll massage.
And then switch out.
Okay. So I've massaged this, so I'm gonna put it in the fridge.
Yes, and as I say, that could go straight in the freezer if you were wanting to plan it. We're putting it in the fridge, but you could do that.
Is our got it. Got it.
And the one we prepared earlier, there it is. And then the same idea, unzip it and flip it backwards.
Pop it back like this.
Look at that, yes. Okay, and then this is going to work for what we're trying to do. So then, Adrian, we just had a few little bits of pepper, and literally 2 pieces of zucchini. The rest are on the other big skewers. And she's just going to thread those up.
Yes.
And stick them on our baking tray. While she does that, get ready for the next thing.
Yes.
What do you need? Are you good?
Yes. Do I just reach in there and grab the chicken and spear it on there? Okay.
Yes. So really you can have this right in front of you.
Okay.
Really that can be your work surface and your cooking platform.
Okay.
Right. Where did we go next? I might have to just catch my breath for a second. We are going to do coleslaw.
Yes.
Coleslaw. We had bought, I think we had mentioned that we had bought a big box from the farmer's market, and this is probably the last thing. I have a few potatoes left in my box. Adrian and I split one, which was a fun way to get a big box together. But we had a big cabbage left at the bottom, and we were like, oh, not sure what to do with that. So we're gonna make coleslaw with it. And then when I was ferreting around looking for bits and pieces, to really play the part of like what do we actually have in the house, we had cranberries left from Thanksgiving that were in the freezer. So I've blitzed those in the mixer for a second, so they're just chopped. If you don't have those, you could use dried cranberries. But I thought, look, the colour is going to be so pretty. And then I have an apple in my box, so we're going to use that too. So, and then I had black sesame seeds, and we rummaged around, and I have an Asian style dressing. If you don't want to use ready-made dressing, you don't want all those additives, you could do like soy sauce and honey, and a spoonful of peanut butter or something, or you could just do ranch. That would be really good on it too. So here we go. Let's slice our cabbage up. So we've taken off all the big leafy leaves, and we're going to cut a stem out. And I'm going to need a bowl to toss that together.
While she's grabbing her bowl, I will say that Julie Robertson is one of the winners of bingo last week. We had a good time playing bingo, and I want to do it again. Who knows? Before too long, we might be back where we can be in groups, but probably not. It probably won't look like it did before we departed from being in groups.
Not just yet. No.
Who knows? But looking forward to doing bingo again. If y'all have other ideas of activities like that we can do together at home, then let me know, because I think that would be great to do more stuff together.
That would be fun. Yes, we do miss you. The drive-through was lovely, being able to see people. I think I need everyone to hold a little flag up to say who they are, because we've got a mask, they've got a mask.
Yes,
most people have sunglasses. So if I didn't call you by name, sometimes I had to guess. It was funny. Okay, so slicing my cabbage, no real wrong way to do it. Homemade coleslaw is pretty tasty. But you do need to make it a little bit ahead of time. It's not a good last minute thing. You want that cabbage to soften down a little bit when you put your dressing on it. Gosh, we may not even finish off the cabbage.
Oh my gosh! Ugh. The cabbage that would never go away.
The never-ending cabbage. But truly. Okay, I don't want to cut anymore because it will be disproportionate to the amount of things I have to put in it. So let's just go with this. So in my big red bowl, I'm going to pop some cabbage.
Okay, and I've got my skewers all on here.
Look at you!
How are they? Are they bad?
They're great!
Not the prettiest. They don't look like cake skewers.
Look delicious. So if I wasn't going to grill this, look, she did such a great job. Look, and these are generous little fat skewers, I have to say. Those are scrummy looking. You could do all that in the morning. You know, you can marinate it the night before, you can thread them up in the morning, put them back in the fridge. This is a good supper club, tables of 8. Get it all done ahead of time. The grilling thing doesn't work out, it's not a big deal. You will just slide that in, 350 degree oven, 20 minutes or so, you know, give or take how big you've done your chicken chunks and how tightly you've packed them on there. But really, you know, 30 minutes tops, and they'll be done.
Yum.
And they are good hot or cold.
Yes, so I'll just pop these in the fridge for now.
We're going to pop those in the fridge. Okay, so cabbage, I'm really just cooking by color at this point. I'm adding in my cranberries. Because, oh my gosh, doesn't that look so good? That looks so good. Okay, and I'm still not going to put all of my cabbage in. I'm going to slice up my apple. You could grate it, slice it. If you buy the ready done apple slices, that works too. We're just going to take out our core. Got an apple corer. You want it a little bit thinner though than an apple, you know, one of those chunk it down apple slices. It doesn't do very thin slices.
I don't like those. And I've gotten really good at slicing apples as a result of not liking those.
Well, I should have given you this to do.
No, I'm sure you're better than I am.
We are just going to do slices for quickness and for prettiness. You could be my mixer-upper.
Okay.
Or you could show everybody in the bowl.
Yes. Then we've got crayons in here.
You could
Cranberries.
do, and then
Can we use one of these to mix it?
I would just put a clean.
Okay.
Well, I just wash my
hands.
hands. Perfect. Something more earthy about that. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Lose my rhythm. All right. Little apple slices in the go.
Mm-hmm. Yum.
And, you know, I won't waste that cabbage once we are done. We'll probably just make some more.
That's a good fresh side.
Isn't it? Yeah. So if you were making tacos, you know, gosh, pulled pork tacos and some fresh, fresh coleslaw. Yummy.
Yum.
Okay. And then, as I say, we were cheating.
Oopsies.
I think this came from the German supermarket. We're allowed to say that, I guess we can say that. It came from Aldi. But I must have thought they were good because over the years I've bought 2. And then this one is another ginger dressing. Sometimes the shop dressings are thicker, and when you pour it on, if you do a homemade dressing, I guess they're more translucent, and you can see your pretty colors through it.
You think it's because of preservatives or sugar or
Some
something?
thickness and stuff, but anyway, we are just going to chunk some of that over the top. And then, now we will, do you want to have a go with that?
Sure.
So we want it wet enough to coat it, not so wet that it's soggy. Nobody wants soggy coleslaw.
No.
Oh, it smells rather good.
It smells really good.
And you know, we're not magic. We can't make everything from scratch all the time.
That's right.
Nice to have a cheat. And as I say, you could have just put ranch in there, and I think that would have gone just as well with those flavors. And if you did ranch, maybe I would put some toasted nuts in there too. That would be fun. But because we're trying to be fancy, and because who doesn't have black sesame seeds in their pantry? I did. So we're going to use those.
I don't. So don't feel bad if you don't.
And if you had regular sesame seeds, you know, sometimes if you toast them just for a hot second, that just helps bring out all the flavors in those. And I'm frantically looking at the back of these. I don't think you have to toast the black ones.
Yes.
I don't remember that I ever have. So we're just going to put that straight into our little serving bowl. They look yummy.
That looks so good.
It smells. You could put chopped peanuts if you don't have peanut allergy. You know, peanuts would be fun on the top there.
Yes. Now, you want to get something out of here?
Oh yes, we were going to get avocado ice cream out of there. Now this is not the one we've just made. This is one that we prepped earlier. Yes, let's get, there's 2 actually. Let's get both in case there's some sort of discrepancy.
They are out.
And I'm going to sprinkle my little seeds on the top there. I think that looks cute. As I say, crushed peanuts I think would be really fun on there. So let's move that to one side, and then we can begin
So good.
begin of bringing everything together.
Yes. And this comes out. Okay, we're gonna
We've forgotten things. Oh, we've got to make the tabbouleh.
Yes.
So keep wiping.
Okay, let me spray a little bit.
How
over here.
about one of
Yeah, good idea.
Tabbouleh, really easy to finish up. I wish you could be here. It smells so fragrant in the kitchen. You can imagine we've got the bread is now beginning to, and when we say bread, you know, it's really cake, but
But it's got zucchini in it.
it's got zucchini in it, and it sounds better like
Yeah.
banana bread. I mean, it's really not. But we do love to slather it in butter and
Yes.
enjoy it as my cake with butter on it. Right. There we go. So tabbouleh. Yeah. Okay. So we had prepped all of our little bits and pieces, and again, this is a mixture of not having all the right things, but we have. Maybe my unwrapper.
Feta.
It's kind of like the magician show, and like here she is.
Even though you can
Unwrap it.
see it, I'm gonna really show you. Well, look at that.
You can do like the same. So it calls for cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. I had 4. That's all I had, but I did have Roma tomatoes that were left from our pandemic pantry. So
Yes.
I have just chopped them. They're a little wetter, you know, a little. You know, when you do the little cherry tomatoes, the fun is that all the middle stays in the middle and you don't get seeds and stuff dripping. But you can scoop out the seeds as you chop, so that it's not too bad. So we've got that. Olives. We had some olives in the fridge.
Yes. Let me show you what these look like.
Da-da. I should have a cloth and you can just go, olives! You can catch us every week. We're all
Yes.
here every Monday. Okay. So, that one. And then I've got to do a couple more. I'm going to chop something.
Okay.
So we're going to serve everything like family style this week. So we thought that would be interesting and different.
Yes. And if you have things if you have a favorite that we've made, we would love to know what it is. And if you have ideas for what you want to see made, if you want to learn how to make something in particular.
Your mama rang to say she'd like to know how to make Yorkshire pudding. So we've got you covered.
Mom, good idea.
Pudding, right?
Hey, well, we have you. How do we make Yorkshire pudding?
And several people have made the lemon tart. I'm really excited. It's so exciting when somebody makes something.
And please send us your pictures if you
Yes.
make something from our show, because we're just so proud and excited to see what you've done.
Yes, and I hope that we're easy to, well, I'm sure we're not
Follow.
easy to follow, but hopefully when you sort of think about it afterwards, it all makes sense.
How would you like to slice this onion?
Yeah, I was going to just,
Okay.
yes,
Go.
yes.
You go.
Bossy. Okay, this is mint, fresh mint from the garden. You can't really have tabbouleh without mint. Mint and lemon are kind of your key things.
Oh, it smells so good.
Breathe in, what do we say?
Breathe in faith. Breathe out fear.
Mm-hmm.
Breathe in mint. Breathe out lament.
And I texted Jay last week to say that oh, that's funny.
I was like, is she gonna hear me?
I'm not going to get it. And he said if we were breathing in enchiladas, like make sure we weren't breathing out onion breath. So just be really careful.
That's why we have NAS.
So it's a
Jay.
major concern of our senior minister.
That's right.
That's fine. It's like, check yourself. We're good.
Understood.
Okay, so here's our couscous, which is our traditional.
It looks so good and
Traditionalness.
fluffy.
So I guess because I want to be clever, I want to take some of that out of there.
Yes, Mom, cheers for Yorkshire pudding. Nancy Cone, hey. Lynn Thrower, hey. So glad y'all are here.
So, okay, here we go. Let's just I'm just going to hide some of this away for a rainy day. And we are going to add in, okay, so now we've got about half as much tabbouleh of that sort, couscous, and then our quinoa. There we go. You are the best at stirring.
Oh, if I've got a skill at stirring.
And I'm going to reach around you.
All right.
Okay, we've got cucumbers. We de-seeded those. Do you know how to de-seed a cucumber? So you just slice it down the middle, get your teaspoon, and just
Kind of
down
like
the
she
middle.
does a jalapeno pepper.
Yes. And again, can you eat the middle? You certainly can, but people tend not to like to. Okay, traditionally you would put spring onions in here, but I didn't have a spring onion, so I'm going to just try my best not to lose a finger.
Oh,
and to
no,
chop.
don't do that. And
Okay, you can
I
make some of
told
those in.
Kate some of the loveliness of the show is that we are trying to help people be resourceful with what they have in their kitchens.
Yes.
So we use whatever onion we have, and you can use whatever you have.
Yes. Oops, exactly. And I could have given myself a slightly larger chopping board, but I
She likes
didn't-
to make things interesting.
Didn't want to. Don't have a clean one, to be honest. Okay, so there's my little dice of red onion. Gosh, I can't show off my chopping skills, but there we go.
Yes.
Okay, and then the little trick to presentation, I find, is if you keep a little back of everything that you're adding to it. So I'm going to keep a little bit of onion back. I've already put a little bit of mint to one side. And then literally we're just going to put in our cucumbers. We're going to put in, I'm going to keep back those correct tomatoes. And put the rest of the tomatoes in. Oh. And you know, you'll find a recipe. I think I used Inga Garten's recipe, you know, Barefoot Contessa, but basically you're just adding things to it until it looks delicious. I mean, this is how much cheese I had, so that's going to go in there. As long as you, you know, try and imagine that every time you take a mouthful, it's going to have an interesting chunk in it. It's not necessarily going to have one of everything.
That's right. Oh, Lord! This is why I can't be
That's why we
starving.
can't have nice things in it.
It's because of me.
Okay.
But with these spatulas, it's just, it can easily flop.
It can happen to anybody.
Thank you, Kate, for accepting me. My flaws.
You're perfect. And that's stirred.
Perfect.
Look. Okay, so we're going to just put our tabbouleh. Oh, that does look. No one can
gorgeous.
stir it better. Oh, look, that's a tricky little bowl when you get right down to the bottom. Okay, I think that's probably enough.
Yes, look at that mound of deliciousness.
Now, you could then squeeze some more lemon over the top. I happen to have a bit of dressing left from something.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're just going to add a little bit of that over the top, just to give it a bit more
Oh, it's shiny. It looks so
shininess,
good.
and then we're going to put some of our leftover bits. That gives people a little idea of what it is they're about to eat, and it looks pretty. And then there's our mint to go on the top.
Yum. Do you need this?
I don't think so. Well, I won't need it until you take it away.
Okay, well, I'm going to put it right here for you.
All right, and there.
Yes.
Okay, so there's our
Gorgeous.
tabbouleh, and there's our coleslaw.
Yes.
And then we had cooked off, you know, this is half of the kebabs that we just grilled off this morning. Mustn't forget to keep looking up. So these, look, turned out to be just yummy. So those are going to go on there. And if I had had that big, beautiful cabbage still, when I pulled off those outside leaves, I would probably have just put them around the edge of my dish, just to give everything that, you know, lovely, earthy look to it. So there's our kebabs on top of there, and some of that little, I put a little honey, I think, in mine when I did it earlier in the week. So that's another good ingredient. I mean, there's no right or wrong marinade. You just want some strong flavors and to let it sit.
Yes, and
Yes. Ooh, and
look at that. Look at that.
oh yes, there's our banana bread because ours is still cooking.
She keeps saying banana bread, but she means zucchini.
I
Don't
do
worry.
mean zucchini bread. And there's the knife. I happen to have,
Ooh.
as one does, some Greek breads in the freezer. These are just pita breads. That we're going to put with that.
Pita.
Yes.
We
You
translate
translate
English to American for one another.
Look at that for your backyard porch.
Yes,
Doesn't that look
it's
pretty?
beautiful.
Okay, so that's going to go with your pretty coleslaw.
Yes.
There's our zucchini bread, and Adrian will come near it in a minute. Once
Yes.
we've got a few more bits to finish, but you'll be able to see the crust and the pretty green. And Nikki, if you're still watching, this is lemon curd.
Do you want me to uncover this?
Yes, lovely lemon curd, which doesn't not go with anything, but it's very good on that.
You could just drink it. I mean, if we want.
You really could. But talking of drinks, we had another fun little suggestion for you to make just a fun summer spritzer. So I just had one rather sad looking, it's at the bottom of the sink now, ice cube tray.
Yes.
So over the course of the weekend, I had some fun just prepping ahead, and we made little ice cubes. So we've got, I'll show you some pretty ones. They've got pansies at the bottom. I'll find a pretty one.
Hey, Borden. Borden's watching. Borden Cater.
And there'll be pretty ones there in your drink. I don't know if you can see that. It's got like a little pretty pansies in the bottom. We put some lemon inside.
Pretty.
And then these ones are simply just pureed strawberry juice.
That looks so good.
And then Adrian has a ball ice cream maker. And we can check them in a little bit, and we'll post a picture afterwards. We've frozen some of the sorbet with a stick in it, so it's almost like a popsicle that you could dip into your sparkling drink, and it would make it taste fantastic.
Yes.
You can put lime juice in there or not, depending on what you're going to put it in. Sometimes lime is too much acid for your drink, but you'll all know. You figure that out.
Yes.
So we have got. Have you all tried that Sprite with y'all tried that Sprite with ginger? That's what we have today.
Yes, that's what we're trying to.
So we are going to do. You could use, what is that lovely water you're always drinking?
LaCroix or LaCroix, some people call it. Or they also have, Dasani makes a version.
And if you've got a soda stream, you can just do some sparkling water.
Any kind would be great.
And then look at that. We are just going to put in a mixture of fun ice cubes.
That's good.
And as we're sitting out on our porch,
Beautiful.
look how pretty that's going to be.
Let me show y'all again.
It's turned out really cute. And you could just make old-fashioned lemonade, that you stir in the can. And then put your strawberry in there, and because it's strawberry puree, it's just going to melt. And we are going to garnish because we like to do that. Look, a little sprig of happiness.
Yes.
It could be mint. We're using lemon balm, so we've got 2 little spritzers. And then we're going to do our ice cream.
Yay! I need both hands for this. Y'all, when I get this close to the camera, I try to remember not to yell, but here we go.
Okay, where do we need it?
Oh, right here.
Oh, good. And I'm going to run. Can you just hold the torch?
Yes, so while I have you, we were excited to see the confirmands on worship. So they've got a video. So if you have a chance to go back and look, it's really neat to... It's a hard time to be a senior in high school or a senior in college, because it's this chapter of your life, it's this rite of passage, and you're not getting normalcy, and we feel, I understand how hard that is. So it's really neat that the youth department was able to come up with a way to celebrate the confirmands even during this time.
Yes.
And I think that's all the announcements I had.
Yes.
But yeah.
That was good on Sunday. Okay, so now you maybe want to wet your ice cream scoop. Oh, please ignore the washing up. So this one is a little softer. This is a vanilla pod ice cream, which I made with coconut cream. So again, it's still dairy free, but we're going to mix up a little bit. These are the cones. You can see how quickly they set up. So we're going to make Adrian her favorite. Pistachio. So she's going to have her pistachio. That one's not quite as firm. Hold that 1 second.
Okay.
But this is, look at this. Okay.
Perfect. That's set
So
up very well.
We're going to do a Brewster's and see if we can pile it up so that you can watch Adrian.
Yay!
Look at that! Look!
It's beautiful.
You shouldn't be surprised that it works. It works. Look how pretty that is. And
It's
delicious.
So pretty.
And welcome to summer. So maybe now you've just got a few fun different things that you can try. If you've got questions, let me know. And
Yes, so let's get a little tableau of everything.
yeah, so we're about to enjoy our little spritzer.
Yes, tabbouleh, pitta, chicken kebabs, coleslaw,
zucchini
bread with lemon curd,
Avocado
ice cream.
and our little
Spritzers.
with fresh strawberry
Okay.
cubes and lemon balm.
I'm going to put you down so I can come back and have our final moment.
Yay!
Yes,
So cheers.
So cheers. And
Thank
if we,
you.
I'm hoping that we're going again next week.
Mhm.
I'm planning to, and we are going to tackle that question. The number one question I have: how do you roast a chicken? So
Mhm.
we are going to look at roast chicken, and some fun sides to go with that, and a scrummy dessert.
Yes,
So-
and let me just put this down here, right here, so I can play the ukulele.
Oh yes, we're going to strum our way out of here because
Yes.
it would not be Pandemic Pantry.
No, it wouldn't. Wear your sunscreen and don't get scorched for your picnic on the porch. That's all for Pandemic Pantry. Now grill for your friends and family. But not yet because we're still in the stay-at-home order, but maybe that'll change, who knows?
And you'll be able to do it very soon.
Yes, and we'll see, and just it's a waiting game, just like we said.
Or
Okay,
we
well,
can just enjoy it together. Okay, bye.